don't give up on something that you believe in, because if that idea is good, you can shelf it and come back to it and go as hard as you can. Slow motion is better than no motion. I love hypergrowth, and we have had a hypergrowth year, but whenever you compare this growth to, say, other brands or whatever, the growth is slower. But to me, the slower growth is better, because it's better than no growth, which is what we had for about a year of just sitting there.
Yeah.
So you can always come back to ideas that you have. The most important thing is just staying consistent with it. And as long as you're consistent, you're going to win eventually. That's the fact.
All right, man. Welcome on to the show. How are you, bro?
Thank you, Eric. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. Just been cranking away. Focus is just on making 2024 the most banger year possible, bro. How about yourself, man? How are things going?
Absolutely. Likewise. Things are going well. Actually, have been dealing with a little bit of Amazon stock issues, and over the last couple of weeks, we've been sold out. So what that's done is it's given us a much longer shipping time, and that indirect effect turned the conversions a lot lower. And now we're all checked in and conversions are back up, and I'm a happy guy again. So you caught me at a good time.
All right, bro. Happy Fez is the only Fez I want to be talking to, bro. I don't want to talk to anyone.
No, you don't want to talk to the pissed off, sad one.
No, definitely not. All right, bro. So I know you've been working on Sweet Dreams for years, honestly, on end, and it's turned into a dope brand, bro. Like I ordered some gummies when you're here out in Colorado, had some, was knocked the hell out. Great product. Take me back to the origin story, bro. Like, how was Sweet Dreams created, and even before that, like, how did you even get into e-commerce?
Yeah, for those of you guys who are watching this, my name is Faiz Warsani, and I've been in the ecom space for I don't even know how long now. I'd say 6 years. I started when I was about 16 years old, and my first ever endeavor was a clothing brand. And I started the clothing brand because Create Tyler, Justin Escalona, a lot of these like guys coming up who basically were college dropouts were making these clothing brands and making very cool YouTube videos about it. So I actually got my start in the ecom space before I was actually doing ecom, because I was posting Instagram videos and YouTube videos and all this kind of stuff. So I was building up this like personal brand by doing this follow to unfollow method and all of that. And then using that, I was able to, be like, okay, I can start a clothing brand now because I have at least a name for myself. So I did that for a little bit, and by a name for myself, I mean I had like 1,000 followers, so it was nothing crazy. But just learn the ins and outs of like branding, how to make cool stuff, and it's always been something that I was interested in from the start. I was always very creative. Wasn't the best artist or anything like that, so digital stuff was usually where I excelled. And I came up with the idea of doing this sort of whatever streetwear brand that was just a print on demand, like Gildan t shirt brand, but with a very cool vibe, right? So it was called Paradise Ave. And the whole goal was to make this sort of tropical vibe, but put it into clothing and mix it with like the streetwear sort of aesthetic on Instagram. So I did that and immediately started gaining traction because Instagram back then was just super, super easy to grow on organically. So did a little bit of follow to unfollow method. That was incredible. And basically got to like the first 100 followers. And at the first 100 followers, there was like it was a very tight knit group because we were DMing all the customers on Instagram and really building up a community. And I did the first ever drop, and we sold like 43 units of like hoodies and t-shirts. And this is like my first ever money that I made that was transacted online from Stripe to Squarespace. It wasn't even Shopify, it was Squarespace. And I like just after that, I was just like, this is unreal. Like it went from an idea in my head to like real physical samples, and we didn't even have stock. We just produced some samples, did a photo shoot, me and one of like my friends from high school. His name is Nick. We don't talk anymore, but shout out Nick if you're for some reason you're watching this. We like shot in downtown Chicago at Navy Pier, and it was like this beautiful like garden. I'll send you pictures after this. It's like a beautiful garden in the middle of the winter. Like somehow there were palm trees inside growing this like atrium. And it's like the perfect vibe because like you step outside, it's the city. On the inside, it's like a beautiful like palm tree vibe. So I did a photo shoot. People were hyped as shit for the product. Drop it, 43 units. I didn't even have any stock. I was drop shipping before I knew what drop shipping even was. Like
Mm,
drop shipping wasn't even in my vocabulary at the time.
yeah.
And I was in high school during this, of course. I was 16 years old, so I was like a sophomore. And it was just like so incredible to me that like you can come up with something in your head, put it out on Instagram and get sales. So this sparked something in me. And after a few months of doing the clothing brand, I came across one of my really good friends now. His name is Andrew McCarthy. He's like also another dropshipping OG goat. Um, Amazing guy. He put me onto dropshipping. He taught me basically the ropes. He was like, okay, this is, what you do. This is how you get started. And at first, obviously, like I had no idea what I was doing because it was just AliExpress stuff. And I was just a matter of testing a bunch of different products. And what ended up working best was free plus shipping offers because at the time in 2017, 2018, that was doing very, very, very well. And it was kind of like a foolproof way to get anything to sell.
Mm,
So I was free plus shipping different jewelry items and phone cases and all this kind of stuff. And I really found my rhythm actually with influencers, Instagram influencers, Twitter influencers, Snapchat influencers, all this stuff, all the little influencers. And it was very, very cheap back then. So I did that for a while. And then I came across Facebook ads after about a year into my dropshipping journey because the influencers were starting to dry out a little bit. And from Facebook ads, that's whenever the floodgates basically open to the next level because now, okay, we're playing with the Facebook ads weren't new, but like to me, they were new. But still at the time for dropshipping, the CPMs and all the metrics were insanely cheap. It was like you can throw anything, any ad, and it'll work. And at the time that I started running ads, that's when Instagram story placements became a thing.
mm,
So I did that for a while. I really ran it up. Was doing like 30, 40K months while I was 17, still in high school. I used to sit in the back of class with my laptop open all day. Like all the kids had Chromebooks, but I was in the back with my Mac all the time. Just
just running it.
always, what?
So just running it up in the back of the
Just
class.
running it up. And I remember one time in math class, like I don't know if it was like algebra. I was an advanced student, by the way. Like I was in all of my like whatever the top honors classes and all of that. I cheated my way through high school while managing dropshipping and everything. I had really good friends that were always very smart and willing to help out. I would take days off of school on specific test days specifically because I knew that I wasn't going to study and I knew that if I went, I'd fail. Especially if like my neighbor next to me wasn't allowing me to cheat. So I would have like different friends in different classes. Um, Basically like take pictures of the tests and like I would do the test at home by just like searching up the answers and then I had an Apple Watch and on the Apple Watch I'd plug in the answers and go retake the test. So I basically like I didn't really care about school at all. School was never really a thing for me, but drop shipping allowed me to be able to provide proof to my parents like look, I don't need to do this to be successful.
Yeah.
And it was really at the point that I reached like the 50K a month mark, not profit, but revenue, that I realized like, okay, I can comfortably leave school because I'm pocketing 10, 15K a month profit. And that's when I decided I'm like, okay, I'm ready to basically not drop out of school. I graduated a year early. Um, and yeah, pretty much that's my drop shipping story and had a ton of successes along the way with a bunch of one product stores and a lot of money was made, but it was never very a satisfying opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So, like most kids from the suburbs in Chicago, where I'm originally from, I decided to move to LA because LA was like this grand, beautiful place.
Mm,
And don't get me wrong, it still is. But at the time, like it was just like this is like full circle moment for me, like watching these YouTubers who moved from their hometowns to LA to pursue their creative dreams. I wanted to do the same thing.
mm,
So me, Mikey Cass, Seba, Scott, we came together and we rented a house in the hills for a little bit. And my whole point of moving there was to actually go out and start a brand, a real brand. Because then I'm putting myself in a really uncomfortable situation where I'm moving out at 18 and I had to like figure out something long term that was going to work. And I knew that drop shipping wasn't really going to do it. I had a store really blowing up at the time that I I made a lot of money from, and I was able to support myself while living out there. But I knew that it wasn't going to be something that is able to like provide generational wealth that I wanted to create. And at the time, CBD was a huge buzzword, and there were a ton of like massive, massive multi 8-figure exits happening. And that's whenever I realized, like, okay, this is an industry that I think that I can come in and shake things up. So I wanted to dive into a niche that I was a little bit passionate about. I mean, I care about sleep a lot. I was struggling with sleep myself. I've always struggled with sleep, as especially like when I was an infant. My mom and dad always told me that I used to stay up all night crying and complaining. My mom used to give me Benadryl to go to sleep. And this like continued as I grew older. I would just have trouble sleeping, always tossing and turning, especially in high school, because like whenever you're going through like a growing phase during puberty, or like 8th grade through high school, I'd have a lot of leg pain, a lot of body pain, and all this stuff, and I resorted to other measures to going to sleep. And those aren't really the best things for you because they block your REM sleep. They're not really the best for sleep.
Mm.
So I'm like, okay, I need to figure out something that I can take that's natural and is cool, because like there's no cool sleep brand. So it just kind of fit the criteria for what I think could create an amazing brand. And one day I was in Hawaii. It was in October of 2019 with my brother. And it was, I checked back on the timestamp in my notes app because I kept it. 2019 October something. It was like mid October, and the only thing that I wrote in the notes was "Sweet dreams, sleep gummies." 2019 in
Okay.
October. And I just like, I don't know what it was. I was just like, okay, the name came to me and the product came to me while I was in Hawaii. And Hawaii is always a place that just, it brings me so much inspiration. Like,
Mhm.
the tropical stuff that
Yeah.
my roots stem from. And from that point on, I'm like, okay, let's start developing the branding. So I worked with one of my friends, not Peter, to like create the original logo and like packaging and stuff like that. And product was the biggest issue. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to get started creating a custom product. I had no idea. And at the time, the resources were not as vast as they are now. Now there's so many like white label supplement companies and all of this to do it, but I
Right.
didn't want to do something basic. So I kind of gave up after creating like the brand identity. I don't know, for some reason, like it just seemed like it was too much work to do. So I let it fizzle out for a little bit, let the idea marinate. And then in February of 2020, that's whenever we really started. I approached Peter from Bureau, who I mean, it's like the best branding agency out there. At the time, he had basically no clients. That was his first ever real project for a
Wow.
brand from scratch. So I gave him the chance because I love Peter. Peter is like my best friend. Even at the time, like we were close, but not as close as we were now. Um, but I just gave him a chance because I knew that he just had the sauce. Like he's a very creative guy, and they've created amazing things in the past. We've worked on websites in the past. I'm like, okay, why not pay this guy to basically create my vision into real life? And that was the best decision I've ever made working with him. If I worked with anyone else, the brand would not be where it is right now.
Mm.
That whole process took about a month and a half to create the logo and all of that, and I documented it on my YouTube channel. And that kind of became a thing. I was like building the brand in public, and kind of my whole personal brand became all about sweet dreams, and it worked amazing. And one of my biggest regrets is not carrying on that series.
Yeah.
Um, but that's a talk for another day.
Okay.
Launched the product after months of research and development in July of 2020 or 2021, or it's 2020, yeah. And it did very well. Dropped a 20,000 plus, all from my own audience, which was
Mhm.
crazy. Brand had a little bit of trouble scaling because it was a CBD product and it wasn't really allowed on Meta or any other advertising platforms. So then I decided to give it a pause again because it was the right product at the wrong time. And I just wasn't in the right place to be running it. So I was like, okay, we'll put this to the side because I know that this has a life other
Yeah.
than this product, right? And I have the product right here, actually, right here, the Dream
Okay. Oh,
Potion.
that's the OG, huh?
That's the OG Dream
Wow.
Potion. Yeah,
Wow. Dude, it is evolving.
this is like original liquid. This is
Wow.
like the same liquid from when we launched, which is crazy to think. Like
That's
this
insane.
is a 3-year-old bottle.
Yeah.
Um, Should I take it right now?
That's an antique right there, bro. Yeah, take
Yeah,
pass it on the call.
for real. You're gonna find it in pawn shops soon or antique shops soon. um, I still get people that send me pictures every day. Like not every day, but people every now and then will send me pictures of their OG sweet dreams. I'm like, wow,
Wow.
that's ages ago. But like I said, my OG dream product was to create gummies, and I'm very specific when it comes to like when it comes to these things with branding, with product especially. Product is the most important thing whenever you're making a brand. And I couldn't find the right manufacturer. So after a while, like Peter actually messaged me because he found a manufacturer for the gummies that were making a very similar sort of style of gummies that I liked. And we began the talks in 2022, early 2022, and spent about a year in research and development of the product.
Wow.
1 full year, 365 days of trial and error, sampling the flavors, sampling the consistency, sampling everything. And then last year in January is actually when we came up with the finalized product.
Mm.
And at that point, I'm like, okay, I have my tins manufactured, I have everything ready to go. It's launch time, baby. So this is the packaging right here. Most beautiful
Okay.
gummy packaging you'll
The
ever
new
see.
improved. Amazing
Yes.
product, by the way.
And damn, I've been rambling for hella long, it feels,
Bro,
but
keep,
it's a good story.
I
Because
love it.
and the moral of the story at the end, I'll get to it.
Mm.
But launched the product in end of February last year, and immediately it was viral on TikTok. We went through like a whole brand refresh, came out with very cool new graphics, a cool new website, and immediately it was viral on TikTok because after months of just sitting dormant and on my hands, I was itching to make this work, right? So I found a good bunch of creators from Twitter, from friends, from whatever, different services. There's a ton of them out there that, bring creators to the brand. And we worked with like 50 different TikTok creators. And out of the 50, I think like 10 or 15 of them hit. And the product was so new and so like it was amazing. TikTok had never seen a sleep gummy like this before. And melatonin gummies were viral on TikTok before. And it was like immediately successful. Like within a week and a half, 2 weeks, we were like doing 10K days. I
Wow.
couldn't believe it. Like one day I woke up, I vlogged it actually, and I woke up to so many sales. I woke up to like 50, 60 sales, and I'm like, holy shit, like what is this? I hadn't ever experienced viral TikTok before.
No.
And then throughout the day went, we were just like, whoa, like this is this is unbelievable. Like
Mm.
12K in sales from one creator that posted a video that got like 2 million views. I'm like, holy shit, we're onto something here.
No.
Basically doubled down, replicated those videos, replicated the creator styles, and we were doing 150K a month within 1 month of launching. And that's
Wow.
when I knew, like, okay, this is it. So now we had to double down on TikTok, invest all the money back into more inventory, and just kept the ball rolling. And it's been, it's been 11 months now since launching. We are over 7 figures in sales now. And we just launched on Amazon actually with a non CBD version. And that's where I see the most growth happening is Amazon. And I am personally doubling down on that platform for this brand, for future brands, for everything. And I'm very bullish on this brand. I want to build the biggest sleep brand to ever exist. And I think I have the right tools to do so. And I think I have
Mm.
the right team to do so. And I have the right product to do so. So you are my witness when I say this. We're going to build the biggest sleep brand in the world.
Oh,
So
man, I'm excited.
that's my whole story on Sweet Dreams and the growth and product. And the moral of the story is like, don't give up on something that you believe in, because if that idea is good, you can shelf it and come back to it and go as hard as you can. There's no such thing as I saw something on Twitter the other day. It's like slow motion is better than no motion. And that
Mm.
really stuck with me. That really, really, really did stick with me because I love hyper growth and we have had a hyper growth year. But whenever you compare this growth to, say, other brands or whatever, the growth is slower. But to me,
No.
the slower growth is better because it's better than no growth, which is what we had for about a year of just sitting there. So you
Yeah.
can always come back to ideas that you have. The most important thing is just staying consistent with it. And as long as you're consistent, you're going to win eventually. That's the
Yeah.
fact.
Wow, bro. Yeah, that's inspiration for me right there, man. But yeah, I mean, it is, bro. Just to touch on that last part, like things do take time, man. They do take time. Like I think the biggest misconception that I had in like 2023 was that like next month we need to hit this goal, or in this quarter we need to hit this goal, which is good to be goal oriented. But like, in this space, like viral growth, yeah, it can happen, but things take time, right? It's like
Yeah.
months and even in some cases years, like what you just said, bro, years of a product in the making before things actually get to go where you are at right now. So
Right.
that's interesting, man. So there's a lot to cover. There's a lot that I want to ask
Oh,
you questions
absolutely.
about what you just said.
Yeah.
And the very first part of that story, bro. So that related with me very heavy because, I wasn't as young as you when I was like going on my journey, but I want to get more clarity on what it was like with you, specifically with your family, bro. When you went
Yeah.
back to your 16, 17 years
Oh,
old
man.
in
Yeah.
high school, making that kind of money, your parents probably like, what the hell? Because I'll tell you real quick, bro. Like for mine, I was like 20, 21, right when I started, and my parents thought I was crazy, man. They were like,
Yeah.
what are you getting into? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking all these courses. I'm trying to learn drop shipping. I'm trying to learn marketing, digital marketing, online ecom, whatever the case may be. And my parents literally thought I was crazy. Dropped out of school, and bro, I didn't want to get into all the nitty gritty of what brown parents can be like when
Yeah.
you drop out of school. So tell me what that was like, bro. Like when you introduced this to your family, like what was their reaction like?
Yeah. It was a lot of ups and downs with my family. For sure, there was a very toxic period in which, like, basically hated my parents because they just didn't understand what I wanted to do, and they like were forcing me to want to do school. Like, you
Mm,
have to do college, like whatever. Um, the turning point really was, I don't think it was even like a revenue amount. I think they just got sick of me, like, basically begging them to allow for me to do this because they knew
mm,
that one way or another, like, I was going to figure out a way um, to ditch school. And they ended up becoming very supportive. I don't know what the flip was, but there was some sort of a flip that just happened when they realized, like, okay, like, he's doing something special. Before that, they just didn't understand anything that was going on because ecom was such a new concept back then, especially for young kids. Though I
mm.
was using like their their social security and everything to do everything, but um, it was still like I didn't understand it. They didn't think that it was real. Um, so that was like the biggest thing is they just didn't know that it was real. I think it was when I started making YouTube videos about it that my parents started to really understand it because then I was getting a lot of views as well. But really, it just took a shit ton of convincing them to basically just allow for me to have the chance to. And like, okay, worst case scenario, then I go to college and whatever, become an engineer. Because
Yeah,
I wanted to do computer science. I was always very interested in computer science and app development and stuff like that. I've actually had like 6 apps published on the App Store when I
okay,
was like 14 or 15. Yeah. Didn't make any really real money out of it, but it was like my real first like endeavor, graphic design wise, and learning a new skill, I guess.
yeah. No, that makes sense, man. I can heavily relate, and that's the thing with online as well. Like I remember when I first started making money online, like years back, it didn't feel real. Like it was
Yeah.
just like money
Still
coming in.
doesn't feel real.
Still doesn't, yeah. Like it
I'll
still
tell you,
doesn't.
those invoices feel real though.
Yeah, the invoices do feel very real. I'm not gonna
The
lie. Yeah,
income doesn't.
the income, the invoices do feel very real. That's a good.
Yes.
Um, okay, so second part, bro, I want to touch on is the formulation specifically because that's
Yeah.
something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Like me on my biohacking game, bro, taking all these supplements, so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
I'm genuinely just interested in what was the process like when you first had that potion and
Yeah.
then switching to gummies. Like, walk me through a little bit about the details of that.
Yeah. So with the formula for the potion, it was at first it was going to be like a white label product, just working with another like CBD manufacturer that's like an agent of like a factory or something in the US. And I remember going to this guy's office and he was like giving me different samples and stuff to try. And like I have it all on video too, which is like the cool part of this. Um, I just didn't end up working with them because I just felt like the product just really wasn't the quality that I wanted. So George Blue, actually, what's his name now? What does he call himself? George Stoitz. He
I
was
think so.
George Blue for a little while.
Blue.
He's George Stoitz now.
Yeah.
George is like an OG mentor of mine. Like he was a huge part of my come up, and still is a part of my life. Good friend. Um, Shout out George. George might be watching. George actually might be watching this. So shout out George.
Georgia legend.
Um, but he connected me with someone that he knew was in CBD as well. And this guy was based out of Chicago, and it was like perfect because that's where I'm from. And it was a very simple formulation. I didn't want too many ingredients in it. That was the whole point of the brand. Was like, okay, we do as least amount of ingredients as possible. No additives, none of that. It's just CBD and just melatonin. That's it. It was just CBD and melatonin, and then it was a little bit of blueberry extract for flavoring, and I think some monk fruit as well, to have natural sweeteners because we didn't want to add cane sugar or allulose or any of that other stuff. Just
Okay.
as basic and as stripped down as possible. And the formulation was great. Like it works. It worked really well, and it actually like it smelled. Let me see if it still smells good. Yep, still smells like blueberries, which is crazy. After years, it still
Years.
smells good. Um, so yeah, that was the OG formulation. And with the gummies, I knew I wanted to do a little bit more because we couldn't just be a melatonin gummy company. Like we needed some other stuff. So for like total complete deep sleep support, I'm like, okay, we can really pack this gummy with a ton of different stuff to not only help you fall asleep, it also helps you relax before that. Then it helps you stay asleep through the night so you're not getting up as frequently or at all as possible. And then waking up without the grogginess. So
Yeah.
with this like 4-step part, we implemented different ingredients for everything. And I worked with obviously like a formulation specialist for all of this that makes the product. The CBD and the CBN were honestly like now we're not doing CBD anymore with our Amazon gummies, and that's what we're going to switch to with the brand. Is not so much focused on CBD and CBN anymore, but more focused on magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, which is from chamomile, and other natural sort of extracts and ingredients. But yeah, this OG formulation, which is what we have on the site right now, is CBD and CBN based. CBN helps you go to sleep, CBD helps you relax. Ashwagandha, which also helps with relaxation and a whole bunch of other things in your body. GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that helps calm down brain functions. L-theanine as well, really good for calming and relaxation. And then melatonin, obviously. We have a nice dose of melatonin that is not overdosed like some gummies are, but it's also not underdosed.
Mm-hmm.
So my goal was to be able to create like a complete sleep gummy that includes all these ingredients that you would take in supplement form, like pill form or powder form, in one simple to take gummy that isn't just a gummy. It tastes delicious too. Like the gummy tastes like a candy. That was my goal, is to like make a really good tasting gummy. That's what really took the longest time in terms of the manufacturing and R&D, was like, how do we create the perfect gummy that looks cool? It's like a little moon shape. It has a perfect chew, and it also tastes good. With all those things, it takes a lot of time
Yeah.
to make it come to reality. So yeah, that's the formula now.
Yeah, that's amazing, bro. I mean, I was genuinely curious because I was just doing some research on like, all right, if we ever want to like roll out, a brand in the supplement niche, like there's a lot that goes into it, man. There
Yeah,
is a lot, and especially to make a good product too, right? Because that's another thing, bro. Like in the supplement niche, like I feel like there's so many products. You know what I'm saying?
there
But
are.
the biggest caveat that I've seen, right, is underdosed, or they just don't even work the way they do.
Yeah,
And like I went on like my own journey, bro, and like figuring out like how to optimize sleep. Like I personally take like magnesium before bed. I take a lot of
I know your formula. I know
you
your
saw,
formula.
you
You
saw,
got that glycine.
man. But
Yeah,
no, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like just having some sweet dreams. Like my biggest problem with like CBD in the past was like I'd wake up so groggy, bro. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like I would wake up extremely groggy, but it was definitely way less with the formulation. So nice, bro. Nice job
yeah.
on that. Um, Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is TikTok, man. TikTok,
Ooh, I
because
love
that is,
TikTok.
yeah, that
I'm
is
actually
pop.
I'm on TikTok right now during this podcast. No, I'm
Yeah,
playing.
that's crazy.
All right, TikTok.
So TikTok, bro, talk to me a little bit about TikTok because you've clearly had a lot of success. You've gone viral with Sweet Dreams on TikTok. Like, how did that go about, bro? And where did you start with that?
So I had been studying a bunch of viral TikToks before I actually was going to launch Sweet Dreams. So I had a whole book of viral melatonin videos that I knew that we were supposed to copy and see what we can do with our product. Initially, it was very comedy oriented. Like a lot of the angles were like, oh, I was taking this gummy. I was eating these gummies like they're a fruit snack because they taste so good. Or like I took 3 of these gummies and it knocked me out for whatever 12 hours. A bunch of different like comedic concepts. And it just worked out because the way that we were doing it was just so many shots out at bat. Like we were working with a lot of creators and they all got the product. It was through a service called Creators World, which no longer exists. Um, but basically I just gave these creators free product and they were promoting the product using Social Snowball, which is a great platform for affiliate, where it basically gives a customer a chance to become an affiliate. So they would
Mhm.
get paid a percentage of every single sale that they brought in. And the way that TikTok works is like, okay, at 1,000 followers, then you get the link in the bio. Otherwise, you don't get the link in the bio and then they don't earn commission. But, anyways, the motivation behind these creators was to go as viral as possible so that way they can get sales using the link in their bio.
Right.
And the whole point of this like outreach with these creators is to work with as many as possible so that way you can get a ton of shots out. You know what I mean? Like you're getting one video a day from 50 creators. That's 50 videos a day going out. If you do the math, like, okay, it's like, yeah, something is going to go viral eventually.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of what happened. And then based on that, we build out a system to onboard new creators, to implement new creative ideas, and keep building a snowball from there. And then we worked with some more talented creators from those batches and paid them on retainer basis. So we're guaranteed posts every single day. And at this point now, like we're still doing the same exact thing and we're still getting millions of views every single month. It's just different now because there's TikTok Shop in the mix. There are, like customers are not buying as much off platform now as they were back like a year ago or even 6 months ago because TikTok Shop is a big thing and Amazon also. Now, like we're driving all of our traffic to Amazon only, but it's the same exact method. You work with a ton of creators, you give them a very good brief of like what kind of content they should make, and also get inspiration from other brands and other sort of products. And then they're able to just replicate it and build concepts. The beautiful thing is like you're getting a ton of content, so you have a lot of chances to go viral.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense, bro. And I have seen some freaking creators making some money, bro, from TikTok,
Yes.
like from this stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, that's amazing. Okay, makes sense, bro. I mean, more content, more views, more sales, right? Simple formula.
Yes. Exactly.
Um, okay, next thing, bro, that I know you recently found a lot of success with Amazon as
Yeah.
well. Walk me through the process of going on Amazon, what that was like, because I remember when you were out here in Colorado, bro, you were going through that process, and I was genuinely very intrigued with that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, bro, like you're gonna crush on Amazon just knowing the
Yeah.
product. So, how did that go about? Where are you guys currently at with Amazon? Speak to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Amazon is an interesting platform because a lot of people, including myself, get very overwhelmed because it's a massive conglomerate, right? And you would think that there are a billion things that you need to get right and you need certifications and you need all of that. You do, but Amazon actually makes it very easy to do it. It's just a very complicated looking interface versus Shopify. It's so easy. You enter a couple buttons, boom, you're selling. Amazon, you have to go through some hoops, you have to get some approvals, and you have to actually ship in inventory to FBA. My biggest issue on Amazon was product was number one, so I had to reformulate the product, which took 3 or 4 months to do. I had to get new packaging made because it's non CBD and it has different actives in it. So we
Mhm.
have to adjust all of that, and that takes a lot of time. The listing also kept on getting like basically just suspended by Amazon because there was like some small issue on there that was making it come off as a pharmaceutical sleep aid when in reality it's a supplement. And Amazon's support team isn't really the best, so it was very hard to like get in contact with the right people to help alleviate the issues. But after a while, I was able to like find someone that works at Amazon, or they actually found me, and I got on a call with her, and we were able to sort out our issues. And we actually really only just began selling a month ago, and that's been my main priority now. But the whole thing was just it was so slow, and I really should have launched like way before Black Friday, which is when I came to Colorado. It's crazy. It's been like what, 3 months now?
No,
November, December,
yeah,
January.
time flies,
It's
bro. Time
crazy.
fucking
Yeah,
flies.
time flies. I was supposed to launch when I was in Colorado, but they just delayed it for me. But divine timing. Like I wasn't questioning it. It was just building my excitement up for the platform a lot more. And now that's where pretty much my focus lies is scaling this Amazon listing to as high as possible
Yeah,
in this niche. And it's interesting because Amazon is very review based and ranking based. And that's the reason why we're on there, obviously, is because we want to rank and get organic sales. Um, but Amazon also has a higher conversion rate than Shopify does. So on Shopify, for example, our conversion rate sits at around 2 to 3%. On Amazon, it's like triple that.
damn.
So our dollars are better spent advertising on their platform and sending traffic there than they are on Shopify. Yeah, like there's a misconception about the percentage that Amazon takes, but I will gladly give that any day of the week because I know that they're rewarding me for my velocity.
Right.
And also, like I've seen other brands just really kill it, and like people that have become very close with me now too. Like I'm friends with people doing $100 million a year on Amazon. Some are doing $1 million a month that are in my circle. So it's like, why can I not be the next to do
Mhm.
that? And it just feels a little bit more untapped. That's
No,
really why. Like anyone can make a Shopify store. Not everyone can go on Amazon.
Amazon. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. You got to have a great product, man. I think that's the lesson in there is like a real legitimate product,
Oh
not
yeah.
just
If you have a shit product and a shit brand, you're gonna fail.
yeah.
Don't even try.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Let me ask you a question, bro. This is just for my own curiosity. With Amazon, like, do you feel like it's a wave that's blowing up now, or do you think this is just it's just always been around? Because I feel like I've
Always.
seen more people tapping into it this year specifically, but Amazon's been around forever.
It's always been around. It's
Mm.
always been around. The shopping volume is higher right now than ever before just because ecom is at a top, like super high peak.
Mhm.
But Amazon's been around. These sellers have been around since 2016 and they've been silently crushing it. But there have been some massive, massive exits from Amazon brands that you just don't hear about. Like, for
Yeah.
example, there's one brand called Zesty Paws that AJ Patel, the real BBL, the Brown Boy legend,
BBL.
he
Hold on. Brown boy legend. Okay. Sorry.
I actually talked to him. I talked to him on FaceTime the other day. Did I tell you that?
I think you were telling me actually the other night when you
Yeah.
were
I got to speak to the real BBL guys.
okay, the real BBL.
Anyways, this guy AJ Patel, he's an absolute Amazon goat. Um, he started this brand called Zesty Paws and another one called Zenwise, which is a probiotic company. And Zesty Paws, he ended up selling for $600 million after building it for like 3 or 4 years or something like that. And it was primarily an Amazon brand. And then from Amazon, he got into retail. And then he basically became like one of the top selling pet supplement brands.
Wow.
And it was all Amazon. He just absolutely doubled down and crushed it on Amazon. And not
Yeah.
just that, you have Rob Oliver, who does an incredible job with. He has a couple brands right now, but then he had a brand that exited for $30 million, and that one was called Genius Mushrooms,
Mm.
which is a mushroom supplement brand. And really, the thing that pushed me, the person that pushed me to get on Amazon was Jimmy Farley. Jimmy, I love you because you are the reason I'm on Amazon right now. This guy literally was he was like, get on Amazon as fast as you can. He was telling me literally a month after I launched on Shopify that I should get on to Amazon ASAP. Had I
Wow.
listened to him, the business would be triple the size right
No.
now. I probably would
No.
have been exited by now too. No, but Yeah, Jimmy works closely with Rob on some things that they do, and yeah, Jimmy runs a whole TikTok cult. So yeah, he's great.
I mean, makes all the sense, bro. Even like, for example, through my personal journey, whenever I'm buying things, I will literally first check, is it on Amazon? Because I know they're going to ship it. Like, all the headaches are taken care of. It'll get shipped very quickly, so on and so forth. Right? Even, bro, all my groceries, I don't even go to Whole Foods anymore, man. I'm getting all the honey mamas, all the coconut waters, all the everything delivered right to my doorstep via Amazon. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and Prime shipping is just like it's one day. Sometimes it is same day too. It's
Mm,
crazy. Like imagine you see a TikTok of Sweet Dreams and you're like, okay, I want this now. Just go on Amazon and it's here tomorrow.
yeah,
Shopify, you order it, there's a 6 to 7 day gap in between.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
not ideal. So that's why Amazon, I think, will always be on top and will
yeah.
continue to win.
Yeah, bro. I mean, when I ordered my sweet dreams, I really got like I think the next day or like 2 days
Really?
after. Like, damn, yeah, and I got it really quick, bro.
That's you also have like 30 fulfillment centers near you.
Bro,
So
there's like two fulfillment centers like right by. I remember we were driving to Lifetime, and
yeah.
you're so I think that's honestly perks of living right next to one. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
um, yo, so kind of to hit this all home, bro. What is the game plan for Sweet Dreams now? I know you mentioned about you want to expand into a full one-stop shop for sleep
Yeah.
specifically, which I think is a fucking phenomenal idea, bro.
Yeah.
Like I will endorse the shit out of that. So, phenomenal job. Like I think the vision, bro, is really really there.
Yeah.
But in your head, what's the vision for the rest of 2024 going into 2025? Like
Yeah.
where are you at now with Sweet Dreams?
Yeah. Last year was definitely slow motion compared to the year before, no motion. Now we're on hyperscale mode. I want to scale Amazon as hard as possible. I have a bunch of products in the pipeline that I want to start producing very soon. And really, also, this goes contrary to my Amazon beliefs, but I really want to double down on Meta as well, and our scaling on Meta. It's always been an issue that's been a hurdle for me to crack, and we haven't been able to get it to work until very recently. And most brands are able to achieve hyperscale mode through Meta, and it's been something that I haven't been able to do. So that's why last year we weren't able to scale as hard as I wanted to.
Mm,
Um, so now it's like, okay, we have to crack the hyper growth there, test out a bunch of different offers, sell as many gummies as possible. Really, I want to grow the MRR part of the business the most,
mhm,
just build up a very, very strong recurring customer list. And my goal is not anything financially. That's not really it is a motivational factor, yes, but now when I wake up every single day, my goal is to help 1 million people sleep better.
mm,
That's my end goal with this brand, is to impact 1 million lives and help 1 million people achieve better sleep. Even if it's one night, that's 1 million nights of better sleep. Um, so that's my overall goal with this brand, is help 1 million people sleep better, whether it's through gummies or it's through another product. That's how I want to achieve it. And this year, Amazon, huge focus. And then after Amazon comes retail. I want to be able to dominate. I want to be able to dominate the shelves of Target,
mhm.
Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, you name it. I want us to be at the ideal level. It's eye level actually for retail. You want to be eye level. So I want to
Yeah,
be eye level in
yeah,
retail. That's my goal, is like have Sweet Dreams eye level. So every customer that's coming in for sleep products and they see this beautiful Sweet Dreams logo, it
mhm,
inspires them to go and reach for it,
mhm.
add it to cart, and put that money in my bank account.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that's the overall goal. Become the best sleep brand and help 1 million people sleep better.
I love it, bro. I absolutely love it, man. I think that's the byproduct of making more money, bro. Is like just genuine impact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good product, being of service. So I love it, bro. Last topic, I promise.
Hey man, let's keep it going.
That I want to touch on, bro. And this is so I know over the last year, bro, you've gotten more closer to like God, right? And
Yeah.
that's been my journey too, bro. A lot of last year was just really getting in touch with like my spiritual self, like and really how that has helped me, right? It's done wonders for me. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what that journey has been like, bro. Because I know building a brand, bro, build in this business game, man. It can to a degree be very, very toxic. Okay,
Yeah.
like I've been there as well. It's late nights, you're up late, you're getting up early in the morning, you're hammering things out, things are stressful, so on and so forth. So how has that your journey, bro, on a more of a relationship with God, how has that kind of played out, bro, in the business aspect? How has that just changed your life, man? Because you are a different person, bro. Like I
Yes.
can tell you that much for sure.
Yeah. So I love this topic. This is my above everything that I do in my life. This is the one thing that I am the most passionate about because it's what I practice every single day. So I am Muslim. I follow Islam. I was kind of born Muslim. I won't get into that, but like I found Islam when I was 17 years old,
Mm,
thanks to my grandpa, um, who passed away in October. Actually, it was like one of the biggest part of my life was my grandpa because he's the one that kind of taught me how to practice and all the core foundations. So, um, anyways, I went through a lot of different phases with my faith and with my religion. It's definitely has not been as strong as it's ever been like now. Like when I started off, yeah, it was strong, and then it kind of dwindled out because the money and the lifestyle and everything just kind of blinded me, right? And like that's what the Quran and stuff says, that you will get blinded and tested by the worldly life. But to me, I just had to go through the phases and meet different people and experience different things to realize that the one true thing that matters above everything else is my religion. And without my religion, I am not a satisfied person. I'm not a happy person. And it's like, what is the point of life without religion, for me at least? Because the money will always have, like, you always want more, 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 more. If it's girls that you're after, there's always going to be girls that you're going to be chasing. If it's like a worldly life of going to clubs and drinking and getting shit faced or buying cars or whatever it is, all of that worldly stuff does not lead to satisfaction in life.
mm,
And as a Muslim, our goal is to live this worldly life in accordance to be able to provide for us good in the afterlife, right? Like reaching heaven. And because that's eternal for us.
mm,
This life is just to us and to anyone, I feel really like this is going to go by in the blink of an eye. How far have
mm,
we come already in this life? We're like in our 20s now.
yeah,
You could blink and it feels like we're like 15 years old. So like if
yeah,
years are going by like that, it's like imagine how your entire life is going to go by. So after like just I don't know what the moment was specifically. It was like really like 2 years ago now, or like um a year and a half ago, really, that it just like really, really, really settled into my mind, where just seeing so many TikToks about Islam and seeing so many Instagram posts, and just like friends of mine were getting closer to the deen and religion. And I just had enough of the life that I was living. And if I wanted to be a good representation of my faith, if I'm publicly being a Muslim and posting Instagram stories about it, posting my Ramadan stuff, like I have to actually live in accordance of this. I cannot just be a fake Muslim, right? Because a lot of
mm,
people claim that they're Muslim, but they don't live lives the way that a Muslim should live according to the Sunnah. So,
mm,
and the Sunnah is like guidelines that the Prophet, peace be upon him, has
mm,
said to live life according to. So after like a lot of just like realization of this life that I was living, I'm like, okay, I have to either be all in or all out. There's no like being half in and half out. Like even if you're doing your business, if you have one foot in through the door and one out, you're not going to ever achieve the true goal. So that same realization set in, and I just decided, like last October, to like really commit. Like I'm going to make sure that I'm praying 5 times a day. I'm going to make sure that I'm not doing haram. I'm going to make sure that I'm, being the best version of myself that I can possibly be. And
mm,
that's been the best change I've ever made in my life, because it's made me a better person. It's made me more disciplined. It's brought me more fulfillment. It's brought me closer to my community, to like doing community service and like talking to people that I never would have talked to before.
yeah,
And it's just like, I don't know, it's given me a new sense of purpose. And I love it. It's been something that I prioritize over everything. Um, and I just love it. Like I know that when all is said and done with business stuff, I know that I'm going to end up pursuing
yeah.
religion completely, like dedicate my entire life to it. You don't have to do that. That's no one says to do that. You're like, everyone preaches balance. Balance is key, right? Like balancing your life, your worldly life, and balancing your religion. That's fine. Balancing is great, but I want to be able to go the extent to be able to
Right.
educate myself so much to a point where like I become fluent in Arabic. I can read the Quran in Arabic. I can preach to the masjid if I want to be able to preach, as a like a sermon on Fridays. Like I want to reach that level. And for even a while, like I was considering just like turning my personal brand into like Islamic personal brand, like Islamic plus business. But I'm not at the position where I feel like I can preach about religion because I haven't like lived long enough of a life of pursuing the religion to be able to like teach people how to do it. Like if
Mm.
friends ask, if like younger kids than me ask, or like, you're doing business and you're praying and you're Muslim, like how do you manage all of this? Or like if anyone asks on a personal level, yes, I will help out, but I'm not in a position where I want to be able to like share it really like publicly because I still have a lot of work to do
Right.
on myself. But yeah, this has become probably the most important part. Not probably, it is the most important part of my life right now. Um, a lot of people, it's funny, like you can go from like living a certain type of life and then having that switch overnight, and it doesn't just happen like that. You have to be guided. Um, and yeah, it's been alhamdulillah very good, very good change. I know we're gonna have a lot of brown boys and a lot of probably Muslim people watching this when I post this on my story, but yeah, it's never too late to pursue religion, whether you're looking to pursue Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, whatever it is. There's whatever you align with the most. It's just important to have that as your north star in life. It is.
Bro, I thank you, bro, for sharing that. I mean, like every time I hear you talk about this, bro, even our talks in Colorado, we were talking about like religion and just why we're doing what we're doing. Like they always hit very, very deep. And there's one thing, bro, that came up for me when you were just talking, just started making me reflect. Is like everything from when we are born to when we die, right? Like everything is a part of the journey, bro.
Yeah.
Everything is part of the journey, right? Because for us to go through, for example, like you mentioned, like the chasing girls, going to the clubs, drinking, so on and so forth, right? But it's like what we always talk about, bro. Like at some point, you got to go through the phase, right? And then go through that journey to find yourself, find God, whatever the case may be, to realize like to have some sort of measurement. You know what I'm saying? Like a
Yeah.
measuring stick. Okay, this is how I was living life. This is how I am living life now, and this is what feels right to me, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, there's not really a right and wrong, right? Like there's just like what is right to you, what is true to you,
Yeah.
and I resonate a lot with that, bro. And that was a big part of my journey as well, right? Is I felt, bro, to tell you the truth, I felt very, very empty while building.
Yeah.
Very, very empty prior to like last year.
Yeah.
I was like, there's only so far, bro, like external motivation and success and materialism will take you, right? But then what I realized, bro, over last year was like when I really found like the purpose of like, why am I doing what I'm doing, right? When I really started caring, when I really started getting closer to like God per se, when I started taking care of my health more. I went on my health journey, right? Then I
Yeah.
started aligning like all that with my finances. Then I started mending relationships, right? Getting really, really close to my family, bro. Like I had a lot of points in time, bro, where I was so toxic in business that I kind of just
Yeah.
wasn't right to my family, right?
Yeah.
But like all of this is part of the journey to like really understand like what do you have, right? And now I'm in a place where like I don't want to take anything for granted, right? And I
Yeah.
only want people around me who, to an extent, see eye to eye with like certain belief systems or ethics, right? So yeah, but really interesting what you brought up.
Yeah, man. We all got to go through it. And the beauty
Yeah,
of it is that we're still so young too. And we're even luckier to be able to experience these things at a young age because there's
yeah,
some people that realize this when they're 50 or 60 and they've
correct.
went their entire life. So
Yeah.
the beauty of it is that you just have to remind yourself that you're young and you have time. Gary Vee says it all the time. Time? So much time? But he's right. Like we have a lot of time. Um, so
Yeah.
we're young. We figured things out. We
Yeah.
ball. That's how it is.
That's how it is, man. Bro, a big like this is just a personal like thing that I'm sharing is like a big like shift that I had last year probably was like I had this vision of like myself on my deathbed, right? It was like fast forward however long, and I don't know if I've told you this, bro. I
That's
might have,
crazy.
but basically, bro, I saw two different versions of myself. I saw
Yeah.
one version where Eric had accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish spiritually, health, financially, relationship wise, mentally, physically, whatever, right? Everything. And I was like, damn. But then I saw this other version where I'm dying, right? Like whatever, however long that is down the road, and I saw myself where I didn't take the risks or I didn't focus. Like basically, I saw the vision, bro. Where like, what was Eric? Not in his peak spirituality, not in his peak physical,
It's
not
a
in his
dream
peak.
you had, you said?
It was like a vision, dream. I don't know what the fuck.
Do
Maybe it
you
was
take
after.
sweet dreams before doing this?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I had some sweet dreams and started hallucinating or something. Bro. I don't know, man. But it scared me, bro, because what I took away from that was, could I live a life not pursuing all these pillars and not seeing what I'm capable of? You know what I'm saying? And that stemmed from, why am I on this planet? Like, what am I actually here to do? Let's
Yeah.
put aside the money for a second. Let's put aside the health. Like, what am I actually here to do? So I resonate with a lot what you were saying, bro. And that's why I think it's really easy for us to have these conversations, because I think to some degree, like we do have similar beliefs, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
So
And like for these people who are listening right now, Eric and I had these conversations that are unrecorded. So this just felt like a
you're
regular conversation. We'll just randomly FaceTime on a Sunday evening talking
fine.
about life and getting deep. Eric
Yeah,
is like the one person that we can have, like I can have these conversations with, and it feels
yeah.
normal.
I love it, man. I
It's
love it, bro.
real.
Yeah, it's real. They are real conversations. But bro, appreciate you hopping on, man. That was a fire conversation.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime.
All right, bro. We'll do it. We'll do another one down the road, bro. We'll end it here.
Yeah, sounds
All
good,
right.
man.